Hi guys, today we will be looking at the relationship between price elasticity of demand and total revenue. So specifically how we explain the impact on total revenue when a firm changes its prices. Okay, let's begin. Now before we begin, let's remember that for a straight line demand curve like the one that you see on the screen right now, the PED value actually varies along the curve. What do I mean by that? At the top part of the demand curve, the PED value is actually bigger than 1. The midpoint of the demand curve, the PED value is actually equivalent to 1. And for the bottom part of the demand curve, the PED value is actually smaller than 1. Now, for a firm who wants to increase its total revenue, the firm may decide to lower its prices. Now, let's say for this firm's product, the demand is actually price elastic, and the firm decides to lower its prices from PA to PB. What this means is that once the firm lowers its prices from PA to PB, there is a more than proportionate increase in quantity demanded from QA to QB. How do we know what is the impact on the firm's total revenue then? It's very simple to calculate. Remember that total revenue is calculated by P multiplied by Q, right? Which means that the firm's original total revenue is given by PA multiplied by QA. So it's essentially given by the yellow area that you see on the screen right now. Now, the new total revenue after the firm has lowered its prices is given by PB multiplied by QB, which is the pink area that you see on the screen right now. Now, between these two areas, how do we know which area is bigger? We ignore the common area and essentially we are comparing the areas of A versus B. Now, area A is actually the loss in total revenue that the firm has to suffer because it is now lowering its prices for every unit of its good that it's selling. However, area B is actually the gain in total revenue that the firm enjoys because there are now more people buying its product. Now, if you compare between area A and area B, clearly area B is bigger, which means that for this firm whose good has a price elastic demand, it actually enjoys an increase in total revenue after it lowers its prices. So what we say is that the loss in total revenue associated with the price fall from PA to PB is actually offset by the increase in total revenue associated with the increase in quantity demanded from QA to QB. So the net effect on total revenue actually rises overall. Now, what happens if the firm's product, its demand is actually priced inelastic? And for this firm, it also decides to lower its prices. So we will illustrate the effect on its TR at the price elastic portion of demand curve, which is the bottom half as you can see on the screen right now. So if it decides to lower its prices from PC to PD, you notice that we can calculate the impact on total revenue the same way we have calculated the impact on total revenue as before. The original total revenue is given by PC multiplied by QC, which is the purple area that you see on the screen right now. The new total revenue is given by PD multiplied by QD, which is the blue area that you see on the screen right now. Now again, if we ignore the common area between these two areas and we are looking at only area C versus area D, area C is actually the loss in total revenue that the firm has to endure because it is now offering a lower price. Area D is the gain in total revenue that the firm enjoys because there are now more people buying its product from this firm. But now we see that as compared to the previous case, area C, the fall in total revenue, is actually bigger than area D, the gain in total revenue, which means that the net effect on these firms' total revenue is actually that the total revenue for this firm will fall. Now, why is that the case? Because the loss in total revenue associated with the price fall from PC to PD is not offset by the increase in TR associated with the increase in quantity demanded from QC to QD. So the TR will fall overall if the price is decreased for this good whose demand is priced inelastic. So if you are a firm, if you are a producer of a good whose demand is priced inelastic and you want to increase total revenue, instead of lowering your prices, you should be increasing your prices instead. Okay? Now, in exams, if you find that this diagram is too difficult to draw or you can't explain it very well, you may also consider explaining the impact on total revenue when a firm engages in pricing strategy using words instead. So how do we do that? Okay, now let's look at how we explain the relationship between PED and TR in words. Okay, first you need to establish that TR is essentially calculated as P multiplied by Q. Then you need to determine whether the demand for this good is price elastic or inelastic using PED determinants. Okay, I hope you still remember what the PED determinants are. After you have done that, let's say you figured out that the demand for this good is actually price elastic. So what should the firm do then to prices? The firm should actually decrease its price because that would bring about a more than proportionate increase in quantity demanded, such that TR rises overall. Now, how do we see that happening? You can use what I call the arrow method. If you look at the first step, pay attention there. If you lower prices as given by the pink arrow, because the demand for this good is price elastic, there will be a more than proportionate increase in quantity demanded such that TR increases overall. Now, let's say if you use PD determinants and you figured out that the demand for this good is actually price inelastic, what the firm should do instead is that it should increase its prices because that will bring about a less than proportionate decrease in quantity demanded, again such that TR rises overall. Looking at the arrow method, how do we figure this out? When the firm increases its prices, there's a less than proportionate fall in quantity demanded such that TR increases overall. So this is a simpler way of explaining what is the impact on TR when the firm engages in pricing strategy. So you can use these to do the explanation as well instead of using the diagram that you see on the previous slide. So when do you use either the explanation in words or when do you use the diagram that you saw on the previous slide? Especially when you're trying to explain the impact on a firm's total revenue as a result of their pricing strategy. Okay, that's the end of this video. Good luck for your mid-year exams and I'll see you in the next video.